Welcome back to our channels, Warriors. We are still growing. Today, another banger interview. I know you like when I interview other people, so you're tired of hearing me. We got a special guest today who has his own YouTube channel and did time in the California Department of Corrections, man, around the same time frame that I was employed by Swag Jr. What up, man?
What's going on, brother? How you doing today?
Good, good. Is that what you go by? Is that what you want me to call you?
Yeah. People call me Swag or Junior, whatever it is.
All
Because
right.
the channel is under Upstate Rebels. Anybody that can look it up there, but that's the name I go by.
All right. So yeah, for the viewers out there, his channel is Upstate Rebels, and then we'll shout it out again at the end, dude. Um, so dude, are you from the United States originally?
No, I was born in El Salvador. I came here when I was probably 8 or 9 years old.
How old are you right now?
I'm 32.
Damn, dude.
I went into the system when I was pretty young, man.
What age did you go into the system?
I got busted in the big raid that took place in San Francisco, California in 2008. That's when I got busted, and I went through the motions of going to juvenile hall to turn my 18, then from juvenile to the county, then to the big house.
When the time that you spent in El Salvador, were you exposed to any violence over there?
Oh yeah, man. I mean, I live between two neighborhoods, so I live like on the little up the hill was MS-13 down the hill, up the hill was 18th Streeter, so I was like in the middle of both worlds basically.
And which one were you?
Well, we have family from both sides. So at that moment in El Salvador, I used to incline more to MS because most of my family was from MS. But I didn't become a full blown gang member until I got to the United States.
But you had that idea already of what a gang member was, and you already saw the get down.
I saw the violence, I saw everything, I saw the whole get down. I mean, it was pretty obvious. I mean, over there in El Salvador, we had like little alleyways. You would see like 15, 20 gang members right there come just talking, drinking beer, playing around. And then night times they used to hear the violence, they used to hear the shots. Sometimes you would see people running with the guns hanging out back and forward. You would see people running back and forth. You see the police running back and forward, chasing dudes, beating dudes' asses. I mean, I saw a lot of pretty gruesome stuff down there, man.
Since we're on the subject, and something that hit the headlines recently was that big, massive prison that they built down there. What's your opinion on that, and what is the consensus of the people that still live there?
So, my opinion, I have spoke not too adept to that on my channel, but I don't agree with how it was done, the way he went about it, because a lot of innocent people got caught up on it. A lot of people are still in prison fighting the cases that are not gang members, and a lot of gang members that became either Christian or were doing the life got caught up on those things as well. So that's one of the things I didn't agree. I mean, to each his own. I always have said one thing: if you're out there in the streets, you know the result is either gonna be you're gonna get killed, you're gonna go to prison.
Right.
So the people that plays the game, we know the consequence of it. So if there were gang members, hey, now is the worst prison that it is. I don't agree to how it's being treated because I think it's a little bit inhumane to sleep on the concrete. I mean, not even concrete, like a metal slab, like you're dead, like you're in the morgue with only
Yeah.
socks and that's it.
So from El Salvador, did you touch down in California when you relocated?
Yeah, yeah. I came down to most of my family were here in California, LA, and the Bay Area, and I have other family, other states, but the majority were here in California, so I came to this state.
And how was that relocation for you? Did you adjust easily? Did you fit in?
No, man, I had a pretty hard time adjusting. One, the language barrier is always a trouble, but then as soon as I start going to school, problems start to reappear, and I will bring it up because a lot of people at that time didn't believe that Salvadorans were non-affiliated. Even though you were not affiliated with a gang, they will still push you, they will still run up on you from both sides, sureños and norteños. So it was pretty hard for me to adapt, not just for the language barriers, but everything else was brand new to me. Everything else, the roads. I mean, it was just a whole different country, bro.
Were you in a regular school? or like a bad kid school?
So at first, when I started going to school, when I first got here, I was in a normal school, no, normal public school. After time started going on, I started getting put in fucking probation school. I went to only like people that had record schools. It was a bunch of schools. I got kicked out so many of them that I lost count of it.
And that's when you encountered the sureños and the norteños hitting you up and pressing up on you?
Yeah, yeah, that's what I encountered most of that. Like going to middle school, you will always see like little groups, and you will hear them speak Spanish or something that will you can tell the different accents. Salvadorian got the accent and Mexican, so sometimes I will be drawn to most of the Salvadorian Central American kids, and I will go there not knowing that they used to bang. Most of them were sureños, and that became a problem with a lot of the Mexican friends that I had because they have friends that were norteños, so that became a whole big deal. But I had so many stuff where I live. When I was living in the mission, it was just like across the street, the norteños, down the streets, the sureños. So it was pretty rough. I encountered a lot of the roughness stuff that I saw down there.
Now, did you know how to adapt and how to maneuver, or is that something you had to learn through
I had to learn
behavior?
that. Yeah, I had to learn the behavior. So most of my family, like I said, are gang members. So one of my uncles, especially one of them, was my older uncle. He was the type of dude like if you get beat up and you come home crying, he's beating you up and sending you back out
Yeah.
to get yours back. So I had it to adapt or make adjustments to the way I will move, the way I will come back home. Because if I get home beat up or something got stolen from me, I knew the consequence at home was gonna be worse than the street. So I had to create like a faceta, a persona
Right.
to defend myself, basically.
So, were there other individuals like you from El Salvador?
Oh yeah, there was the here in California. Well, at least in this area, they call a newcomer school. Newcomers were like people from different countries that were just literally first start coming in, and we were going to the school. So you had Chinese, you have Filipinos, you have Mexicans, Salvadorian, Hondurans. You had a bunch of ethnicities in one school, and a lot of them you could see a lot of them taking a longer time to adjust than me because I was quiet at first, but
Yeah.
once I start seeing that if I don't speak up and I don't defend myself, the sharks are gonna eat me. I start becoming a little bit more affirm, more outspoken. So that's what kind of like I was the hard-headed individual. Like if I get beat up, I'm gonna stand up and go run it again. It doesn't matter how many times you beat me up, I'm gonna still stand up. So
Now,
that was something that separated me from a lot of people.
during that time frame, with all those altercations, were they gang altercations or more like personal beefs?
Some of them were gang altercations, some of them were more like personal beef. Like there was a few fights that I had because I liked a certain girl. Somebody liked a certain girl, and they were like, "Well, shit happens." You know, females were in the middle of it. Sometimes it was like, "Well, I was sitting here. No, I want to sit here," and sometimes it was like stupid fights nowadays. But it was to me, it was more of a pride, more of the principle. You know.
Was there ever hyenas that used to jump back and forth between gangs?
Oh yeah, man.
Oh,
I seen that
hell
there would be
nah.
like they used to be like one week we'll see them with us, and the next week we'll see them with them, and they're like, "Don't try to come back over here because we're gonna kick your butt." But we would take theirs sometimes, and then they will get the same complexion. Don't come back over here. You already been used by the asses.
Yeah. Yeah. There's always love for the homies, man.
Yeah,
That's
I
everywhere.
mean, you gotta understand a lot of wars have started
Oh,
behind.
oh, I know. I know. Troy.
Troy.
so, so, you get gaffled up in an operation. Did you know when you got gaffled up by the cops, did you know you were going to be going away for a while?
No, actually, I didn't. That's the worst part. Like when they came down, I wasn't living at home. I had already left the home because my mother didn't want. I had got into with my auntie's husband, and I couldn't go leave at my mom's house because my mom's house was like in the heart of the Norteños neighborhood, like literally in the heart of them. So if I walk down there, I'm an easy target. So I was staying with my auntie at the time. Well, I got into him, so I got kicked out. Well, when I got the case, when the feds came down and it snatched everybody up. I thought it was just a regular, because you had ICE, you had ATF, you had the federal agents, you had the sheriff, you had a bunch of different branches of the government. So
Yeah.
we didn't know what the fuck it was. Was it a ICE raid that they were deporting them? Was it a federal raid that somebody got cut up or they're looking for something? We didn't know. So when they put the cuffs on me, they were looking for certain individuals. They start asking, what's your name? And then when people would tell their names that they had on the list, they would separate them from us, which I happened to be the liar one because I didn't tell them my name. When they came and questioned me, I gave them somebody's name, so they kept on pushing. But the dude that had the list was a narc, was a getting tax force police officer. He recognized most of us, so he's like, nah, he's lying. This is who, this is who. So when I got to juvenile hall to get processed, I didn't know my charges. I didn't know my case. I didn't know why I was being arrested. I know I was arrested, but I didn't know for what. I didn't ask until probably right before I was gonna hit the dorms. That's when I asked the lady, "Hey, what the fuck are my charges? What I'm locked up for?" And she's like, "You really don't know?" I'm like, "They didn't read me shit. They didn't tell me nothing." She read me my charges, and that's when I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, what the?" It caught me by surprise because I didn't know
What
what it is.
what were the charges?
So, I had 7 counts. So the first one was murder. Then I had gang enhancement, being part of a criminal empire, and then I had robbery, second degree robbery, 2 second attempted degree robberies, assault with a deadly weapon, and some other shit that they throw in there.
Was it murder in the first degree or second degree?
It was murder in the first degree.
God damn, dude.
So I didn't understand what that mean, because like when people would ask me what type of murder it is, I'm like, what do you mean what type is it? Like, I didn't fucking know nothing of the legal system. They would tell me like, hey, was it one or two? I said, what that means? The one means one piece person died, or two means two people died. Like I didn't know what the fuck it meant.
Yeah. Fuck, dude. Fuck. So, holy shit, man. How old were you at that time? You said you were in the hall.
Yeah, I was a 17 years old kid,
Oh,
daily reading
fuck.
your charts, and you looking at it, and everybody's telling you, hey, you know you can get life for that. I'm like, what does that fuck that mean, man? Like break it down layman terms, because I still at that moment I knew English advanced, but most of my shit was like street English, like the legal terms and all this shit. I didn't understand none of it.
Now, did you understand prior to this that incarceration was a possibility in your lifestyle?
Yeah, no, I knew the prison or incarceration was gonna be. It was a part of what I was doing. So
Right,
I knew either I was gonna get killed, or I was gonna end up in a wheelchair, or I was end
right.
up getting locked up. But see, at that moment for us, a lot of the my generation coming up, going to prison was like a badge of honor. Like, oh, you made it to the joint. You went with the big homies. You were
Right.
there. So it was like something some people. I didn't look forward to going to prison, but it was like if it come down to it, hey, it is what it is.
What do you think that mentality, or I should just ask you, what was your mentality? Like, hey, that's where I want to go. Is it because you want to prove yourself to somebody or to yourself?
Most of it is because you want to let people know that you can be that person. Like, I can be that asshole, violent ass vato. I can be that violent, ruthless ass leader that you guys are looking for. I have that in me. So you trying to prove that first to yourself, but also to the people around you. Like, I can be this other person without, because prison, it always been looked up like, oh, you go to prison, you get a prison tattoo, you've been to the joint. Like, that's a respectable thing. If you come home and you stand like a soldier, it was like they give you a little bit more respect than your neighborhood. So that was like a mentality, like, oh, if I come home after doing some time, like I can claim that I've been there, done that, and I can even run my own neighborhood type of style.
Now, you having did 15 years in prison, did you expect it to be what you thought it was going to be like?
I, I mean, like I saw movies and I thought that's how it was, but then like once I would hear it from my uncles, my uncle was part of the 2000 riot in Pelican Bay.
Yeah.
So hearing it from him and hearing from other people that I have been around with, how prison was, and I got there, and in a way it was like that, but it wasn't. It was getting like watered down. It was still it was like
Right.
on a transformation to get watered down a little bit.
Now I know kind of. I think I know the answer to this, but did you care if you died at all?
At that moment when I went in there, I didn't, brother.
No, no,
I'm
not
not.
not not just prison. I mean, in general, like the way you were living your life. Did you
No,
really care if you died?
no, nah, I didn't really care, brother. I was like, fuck it. If I die, the homies got a shirt for me with a
Yeah.
picture. That's the way I looked at it. I'm gonna be known like the homie died, whatever.
Yeah.
But then we'll get to some points where I would question myself because I was like, I want to leave a legacy, though. I wanted to leave a kid, somebody to carry my blood,
Right.
and I couldn't accomplish that sometimes. So I would be like, man, wait until I have a kid, and then whatever can happen to me happens. But when you grooving and moving the way you moving, you don't really think about that shit. Like if it happens,
Right.
well, I got caught slipping, you know.
Yeah, you're moving fast. So, where'd you go to reception? Wasco?
Reception for us was San Quentin.
San Quentin?
Yeah, San Quentin was reception for us at that time.
And what year was that?
That was 2010.
All right, yeah, because we talked a little bit before this interview, and we talked about that in 2010, things was still semi-normal. I mean, it wasn't what it is right now.
Oh no, no, no. Shit was still kicking off. Excuse my French, but things
No,
were
you're
still
good.
popping off. It
Right,
was still, it was still. I mean, San Quentin in itself was a dangerous grounds to step on because you had to understand for us Southerners to come into San Quentin, that was a Norteño stronghold. It's always been a Norteño stronghold. They have always been allowed to walk the line, and for us, it was not. So, whenever we used to go to medical or go to the store, we had it to be on our P's and Q's because you never know where the next puncher was gonna come from. So San Quentin was a danger because at that time they had in the bottom tier they had all level fours, blacks, whites, and norteños all in the first tier, and then they had everybody else with Southsiders mixed from the second tier all the way to the fifth. So sometimes shit happens. They get mixed up. The medical slips get
yeah,
sometimes got up. They will slide you in there with a norteño in the booth. And if you by yourself and dude been there for longer, he got the upper hand because he might have a weapon. You might not. So it's whoever can beat the next man is strong.
right. What was the first pin that you hit?
Pelican Bay.
God damn, dude.
They shot me straight to Pelican Bay.
What, what yard?
AR.
So, were you familiar with how, what's the word, like, how big Pelican Bay was? Had you heard the
I knew.
rumors or the
I
talks?
heard. I heard the rumors, the talks, and I heard the reputation Pelican Bay had.
Right,
So when I got endorsed to prison, so they come and ask you what prison you want to go. Never in the lifetime of me being in prison have I got the prison that I told that I wanted to go to. It never works out that way. Some people get lucky to get it, but I didn't. They sent my options were as a level 4, either High Desert, Pelican Bay, or Salinas Valley. Nothing but gladiator schools. Nothing but
god damn.
killer yards. So I was like, well, if I go to Salinas, I can get a couple visits close. If I go to High Desert, I can still get a little room to get people to come up. But if I go to Pelican Bay, now we're talking about 7 or 8 hours away from home, and people got to stay the night. So it was a little fucked up. But when I got to Pelican Bay, that shit was in the back of my head. Like, man, this is the Bay. This is where killers are housed. This is where serious people are being held at. Like I had that in the back of my head, but like I said, you create a persona within your own that not to let it to be shown, but you got that when you're in a bus ride all the way to then all them fucking tall ass trees and you don't see nothing but dark clouds because over there
Right,
you don't really see the sun like that, man.
yeah.
And you start hearing like how the CEOs talk about these prisons and the inmates how they talk, and then you start trying to like figure out is it really like that? It's not. So
Were all the COs white?
my 99% of them were, and the ones that were Latinos, them dudes were acting like white. They didn't even speak to you in Spanish. You couldn't even ask them in Spanish a question because they looked at you like you had spit on them or something.
Oh shit, man. So I know got you talking a little bit, right? And back then, or I mentioned to you about race riots. I mentioned to you like, hey, it was on and fucking cracking, man. Fucking blacks and Mexicans, sureños and whites, fucking blacks and whites. Did you ever encounter that, or did you ever encounter that? And do you know what I'm talking about? Because we're gonna
Oh
go
yeah.
forward with that question.
So I got to Pelican Bay AR, and when I got there, we go to orientation. I was in 3 building. Then they moved me, I believe, for 7 building or five, one of those 2 buildings. When I got there, in the same bus behind us, a white blood landed in the yard. And at that time, at those specific time, there was none of those race allowed. Whether you were Latino Crip or Latino blood, or you were white blood or white Crip, you were not allowed to walk the yard.
Right.
Um, so dude landed in the yard, and that was my first yard out. So I'm trying to get the feeling of it, see what it is. So my celly, like he had been there a little bit longer, so he's like putting me up on games, schooling me. Then my homeboys pull me to the side, and they're telling me, but I see awkward movement, awkward, like you could tell in the body
Yeah.
language people point. And I asked him, I said, hey bro, like when I was doing laps and I passed through the basketball court, and those blacks was talking to that white dude, like the body language was really fucking tense. Like, what that's that about? He said, well, he broke it down. No bloods are allowed. They're as long as they're black, they're allowed to walk the yard. But if they're any other race, they gotta get them off the yard or a shit kicked off. Well, the blood they landed on the yard, that white dude, he was somebody in their neighborhood. He was somebody that demanded respect. He was not just a chump. He was somebody that was with the business. So the blacks chose not to remove him. They said, fuck that, we're not touching our homie.
Yeah.
So 2 days later, we get the heads up, hey, the whites are gonna kick this shit off.
Right.
You know, usually when it's a whites kicking it off or it's us kicking it off, we give each other heads up. So we got the heads up. I had never seen so much blood and violence erupt like this in the fucking matter of seconds, brother. Until I witnessed that right. I mean, I seen the stabs and removals in San Quentin. I seen it and I witnessed a few of those. But the level of violence people can endure and provoke and just give out when they're fighting for their life is something out of this world, man. I mean, one
Did
moment we're talking, the next moment the whites are rushing the blacks, and all you see is just this bunch of groups just going woof.
during
And
that
there were
one, were they evenly numbers, or was one outnumbering the others?
no, and that's what I was gonna go with it. The blacks were outnumbered at that
Oh, they
time.
were
The blacks,
outnumbered.
yeah, were
Damn.
outnumbered because they had only allowed our block to go out, and the dudes that had the day off from work. Fuck, I forget the name they use. They had the little day off, basically, right?
Yeah.
So they had more whites out there because there was a lot of more white dudes that had jobs. And I mean, when that shit kicked off, they weren't badly outnumbered, but they were outnumbered. They were less. I want to say probably was like 40 or 50 whites. I guess like maybe 20 to 18 blacks. But every single white dude that I looked had a weapon on his hand.
Yeah.
Even one young kid that I remember seeing him in a reception that was so scary as hell when I saw his skinny ass 19-year-old kid. Even him, he had a weapon on his hand.
Yeah.
And I mean, dude, you see this shit just they rushed the dudes right on the table between the bars and the handball court, and they went for the dude that they wanted, which was the long hair,
Did
blood,
did they get
white
him?
blood. They got him. They got to him. They got to him because he was like he had got up and I went to the pisser. So in that moment when he got up to went to the pisser was going a little further towards our way. So the whites were playing horseshoe because they let you, the crazy part is they let you have that fucking big ass horseshoe over there,
Right. Right.
which can be used as a weapon, which don't make no fucking sense. But
Right.
as soon as dude was on his way back from the pisser, they encountered her right in the middle of the yard and they dragged him to like towards the building. They were booking him
Now, in that riot, did they prone out and then jump back up again and prone out, or did they?
twice. They did that twice.
Yeah, that was something I always, that I always remember that they used to do. Um, Now, something I was thinking about when we were talking about this time frame, I'm assuming everybody went on lockdown.
Everybody.
Right.
Everybody went on lock for the first week. It was everybody was on lockdown. Then after the first week, it's just the groups that were involved.
So for the viewers out there who may or may not know California prisons, back in the good old days, if a fucking massive riot kicked off or a serious incident, they used to lock down all the inmates so they can figure out what the fuck happened, right? Do their investigations, searches. Well, now that no longer happens. No longer happens.
It's
They'll
2 week lockdown for everybody, and even if the parties are involved, they're out.
not even then. Yeah, not even 2 weeks. I mean, they. I've seen, dude. You could kill somebody on the yard and they'll be up fucking the next yard. I've seen it over and
I
over
heard
again.
about that recently. I heard about that. Like you can stab somebody and run back to the yard.
Yeah. So during those lockdowns, right? You said you guys got released what 2 weeks after, but the blacks and the whites stayed down.
They stay down. They stay down because so we got on 2 weeks lockdown just to figure out where everybody had because there was a couple whites that looked Latino, but there were whites. So they wanted to figure out because the fight kind of moved towards our side a little bit, the riot, and a lot of the whites pronoun right like almost next to the homies in the area where we share areas. So the police wanted basically they were doing an investigation to see if we have provided any weapons or were involved, we have or if we have bullied them into doing that riot. You know how it was known for that shit.
They were just looking for an excuse to slam you guys, man.
They were just looking for something to just say lockdown. And
Yeah.
here's the horrible part. If people didn't know this, and I said this a lot on my channel, Pelican Bay was one of the fucking shitty prisons that even if it was a one-on-one self fight, that would lock this shit down and send everybody to the buildings.
Holy shit, man. Damn,
Yeah.
dude. Hey, you go to Donovan, you can literally slap a cop in the fucking face, man. And you get you can walk your chow right afterwards, man. It's fucking seriously, it's fucking wild, dude. It's
Whoa, man.
wild.
That's
So,
fucking crazy, man.
so
You slap a police officer, any of these other yards back then, they beating the brakes off you all the way through the program office. If they can get away with it, they put you in a gym, beat your ass again.
allegedly,
Finish medical.
allegedly, but
Allegedly. Let's go with allegedly.
okay, that time frame. Let's talk about. We talked about this a little bit earlier. Different races and respects and disrespect, right? So let's say a black disrespected a sureño, right? Back then, what would have happened?
Oh, that dude would have never made it to himself. If he did respect this Sureño, whether it was coming back from child or in a tear or whether it was in anything, dude would have never made it back to the cell. That shit would have kicked off right there and there. The homie would have, especially if you're with somebody else, and if you let that disrespect slide, they're gonna take off on the black first, then they're gonna handle
Right.
you for being a fucking pussy for letting that happen.
So, I mean, we could reemphasize once one goes, everybody's going,
Everybody
right?
goes. Yep. Once one goes, everybody goes.
And you know, and that was always the scary part, dude. The numbers, the sheer numbers.
I mean, and I will tell you this. I think the only place that I've been to where Southsiders as a car have been at number was Corcoran and Sea York, because that place were had more blacks than I ever seen in my life, and that prison alone. I mean, they were fucking. Their number was 4-1.
Corcoran?
Yes, at
Damn.
least when I was there, their number is at least. I want to say at least 3 to 4 to 1 because it was bad. I mean, and they had the Bulldogs right next with us programming, so we had to watch out for them as well.
If a back then during those times, if a CO disrespected a sureño, what would happen?
Oh, it was up. That CEO would have never got away with that. That CEO would have never got away with that because it was taught to us from back in the days that the program, the umbrella, or the car, the church, however you guys want to name it, it was always demand the respect and they had it to be the respect. And by I mean that is the program, the sur, can never be allowed to be the respect. If you're part of that program, you're part of that entity, you are a look onto that organization. So if somebody disrespect you as a man, they're disrespecting the whole organization as a whole. So if a Huda calls you out your name or a CEO disrespect you, whatever disrespect it was, and you didn't handle it right there and there, but went and complained to the homies,
Yeah.
it was worse. You would have got it, then the officer would have got it.
Yeah.
But it was all hands on deck. I mean, I think I was part of that. I wasn't involved, but I was there when the I don't know if you heard about it when the CEOs and Corcoran got smashed. They got the noses broken. Somebody went and kicked them like in 2018, 19. They went to do a cell search. The dude wouldn't cuff up. They start tussling with each other inside the cell. He said he seen that rush the CO. They start whooping on the CO until the other one saw what was going on, hit the alarm. They start firing, and dude was trying to pick up the CO, and one of the homies was running on the tier and just literally kicked him like he was kicking a soccer ball, broke the fool's nose. Allegedly, they got taken allegedly they got taken to the gym and got their hands put on and fucked over behind that. But
I think I did hear about that one. I think I do know. Yeah, that's staff assault.
everybody else got transferred to Kern Valley right after that. All the people involved.
And that was another thing, man. Once there was a major incident, the administration would transfer the majority or the key players. Right? You remember that happening?
Yeah, I remember when that incident happened in Calipat when the homies rushed the program office
Yeah.
and they got off on everybody. The lieutenant they got pretty beat up. I think it was the lieutenant or sergeant, one of them too, and they kicked that shit off in Calipat. A lot of them landed in Centinela Hole because I was in the hole at that time. A lot of them landed there in 2019. That was one. I think that was like the last riot that I heard that was really popped off in Calipat
At
with the
Calipat?
CO. Yeah. Well, it had happened. A couple other ones happened right after that, but that one was, I think, the big one. They rushed the whole program office and they kicked that off over a disrespect.
Do you think with those rules in place that there was more respect back then in those times?
Yeah, and I will tell you why. Because it was mutual, brother.
Yeah.
So we wouldn't go our way to fuck up the CO's programs or make him front them off in front of their sergeant lieutenant
Yeah.
or make them do extra work they didn't have to. We looked at it like, okay, you guys coming in, do your 8 hours, get going to your family.
Yeah.
We here, we live here, we shit here. This is our domain. Let us do what we do because it's working. Now, if it's not broken, don't fix it.
Right.
But you have always have that one. Either they're just fresh out of the army, they're coming in and trying to become a big badass, or a rookie out of the academy, they want to prove himself, or
Or they're
I
short.
seen this
Or they're
a lot,
short.
or the little short. But also, I seen this a lot, and I don't know if you were aware of it. Females officers
Yeah. Oh yeah.
getting really disrespectful, really vocal against the people because that's how they were trained or taught.
I've shared a story in Centinela A yard when I almost got fucking stomped out in the culinary in the chow hall because of that.
Oh, that's a dangerous way to
Yeah, I
get
know.
fucked over.
But cooler heads prevailed, luckily. And
Yeah.
your boy didn't get stomped the fuck out. But yeah, it was close. Um, as the time you mentioned the hunger strikes. Talk to me about the hunger strike. Not in detail,
So,
but your perception of it.
so when the hunger strikes first came out, and the way it was proposed to us, it was basically it was a to look for a betterment for our gente, for our people,
Yeah.
to look because there was a lot of people validated back there that didn't need to be validated. There were a lot of people validated on hearsay or kites being thrown on them, and they were given administration centers. We use that as a threat to trying to get something out of you. We will give you a determined shoot term if you don't tell us this, or it
Right.
was a form of abuse and threat. So when those things got to a point where it was just too much, the hunger strike was like, we want something better, and plus because they wanted to come out and see how the yards look and see how everything. Of course, It was
Yeah.
a beneficial for everybody involved in a hunger strike. But administration gave in, I believe, and like I said this before, it was because they thought it was gonna change the way prisons were conducted, which it didn't. When I did the hunger strike, I didn't believe it on the cause. I didn't believe it on the, if people are out here, maybe we will be treated better. Maybe we will get what we got coming instead of having to file 602 all the time. I think it will be better for the change. I think it's a better day. It can be a better change, better people, better things that we can get access to.
Yeah.
So we didn't believe in on those things, which then never happened and never took place. It was just a play for a grab for money. I mean, it is what it is. But allegedly, here we are now with this prison's running like it's a madhouse.
So one thing that did happen was that those race riots that we just talked about, they came to a halt. I mean, you've
So
had.
the
Oh, go ahead.
excuse me. So the benefit was, and like I said, and I told you while we were talking, the benefit was a lot of the violence amongst other races kicked down, and there was less violence amongst with each other, unless it needed to be a cleanup really bad. But a lot of the unnecessary violence, politics struggles, dudes removing dudes because they wanted the position, that came to a stop. So in a way, in a sense, it did help out with the violence, but
What?
then it escalated to a whole different level.
Yeah, the murders skyrocketed.
Now it is, we will hit you if we want you dead type of stuff. If you
Right.
did something that you deserve to get toe tagged, then that's when we're gonna do what we have to do and shut this person down.
If you told a joke that the homies didn't find funny, they're gonna take you out, pretty much.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
yeah. I mean,
I seen it.
it changed a lot.
Um, do you think since the race riot ceased that the level of disrespect amongst races also got out of control?
Oh yeah, that's well known, and like I said, I have conversation with people that are still inside the system
Right.
that have voiced those concerns, like talking friend to friend, and they're like, bro, this shit's out of control. These dudes, whites and blacks, they're literally disrespectful. Back then, you couldn't come to somebody's cell and just knock on a motherfucker, put your head in their fucking window. Hey, what the fuck you doing? It was not allowed. It was like stay away from them. You knock and you say dispense of first. Now
Right.
it's a little more sideways.
So, do you think that creates a more dangerous environment?
It does in a sense, and I'll tell you why. Because like I said, you're always gonna have that one. Cooler heads will prevail, of course. But if you're dealing with a hot head, they're trying to
Right.
prove himself, and you disrespect them, that's where that shit can get hit the fan.
Right.
Because if you come to me and I'm a little cool, I done me, I done prove myself, I put the demo down, whatever. You can come to me and say something stupid, and I might not take it disrespectful. I might just be like whatever. But if you go to somebody that's fresh in, they're trying to prove himself, they think he's tougher than anybody else. You come and say a joke to them, might be a joke.
Right.
He take it respectful, then boom, here goes. Right.
Right.
So it played for both sides. It helped, but it also affected it.
As the times changed and the years progressed and certain individuals got put on the main lines, did that change the dynamics of things?
100%. 100%.
Did it become more sketchier? Were people minding their P's and Q's, or were people more relaxed? What was like the climate?
No. It became more like people walking on eggshells type
Really?
of shit. Yeah. So, and it had to do with a certain. It would depend on who was in the yard,
Right.
because certain individuals are low, kickback, respectful. They just want to be out there, mind their. They have their cheerleaders doing their work, and they just kick them back. Now you have all the individuals that like to be more hands-on, more outspoken, more violent, and they carry themselves such as like they give you this look like don't even come close to me to say even what's up type of. So it created this like you never know when you can catch it because one day you can catch them
Right.
on a happy morning. They wake up on the right side of the bed. One day you might catch them when they're angry at the world and say, "I want somebody to mess up and so I can have him whack." So it changed the dynamic of how everybody's perceived because before it used to be like we can come and talk to a camarada and let them know, hey, this transpired. I think this is need to be, but you can come to them and talk to them that way because you have to go through different channels to get to them, and that's when things can go sideways.
What is your opinion on the bodyguards, the entourage position? Is that a highly sought out position? Is that a good position? Is that admirable?
My opinion, my personal view, and I speak for me. I look at the entourage and the bodyguards as a straight besaculos, straight ass kissers.
Oh man, god damn, dude! I don't edit. I don't shit it. I don't edit anything out, but it's already been said. Like I was asking, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't look at it nothing else because most of these dudes you surrounding yourself with, half of them are straight. Half of these dudes are straight winnies, and you can
Oh,
ask dudes. And those
oh,
dudes that be carrying those entourage, half of them are straight winnies that got money to just.
fuck.
If you
Damn.
got somebody that done shoot turns, there's a righteous, respected, well member, and an entourage. I don't think he's want to be part of that because he's always smelling your pedos.
Well, you got a point. You got a point being that the generation of inmate has changed.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? You got a point. And even the generation of COs has changed, man. It almost seems like the old generation is fucking gone in the wind, man.
I mean, look, I tell you this. I run into a sergeant in Kern Valley. I won't say his name out of respect. Dude was one of the gangsters motherfucking COs I ever seen. You will come at him sideways. I seen it with my own eyes. Take off his shit and goes, "What's up then? You want to
Yeah,
go to the gym? You want to get into medical? You want to get into what's up when?
yeah,
You want to you think just because this uniform doesn't make me motherfucker. I'm a man. What's cracking? I
yeah.
seen that. So it creates when you have people like that that you can deal with, and now you have other type of COs. You have those dudes there, little short, stocky fuckers that just one of those house problem come in there and just talk shit, they be disrespectful. Then it creates a hostile environment because you never know what he's gonna come out of pocket, say something stupid. You're gonna have to slap the fuck out of him and then shit get tossed.
Hey, can you tell? Can you guys tell which COs are players?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like with the ladies?
Yeah, yeah, you could tell.
Oh,
Like if you've been around and people like that, you can tell.
I don't know
Believe
why.
me,
I
I
just thought I'd
seen
ask that.
yeah, I seen so much shit. I seen a few of them dudes like, oh man, give her a break, bro. I seen it so much. The
Oh
dudes work
yeah.
all the
Oh, oh like a little
dudes working.
following her like a little lost puppy dog.
Yeah, dude works all of that across the central control. Gonna come on your lunch break all the way over here to one block and the other yard just to see if
Shout
you're
out,
behind the
hey, real quick, shout out to the homie at RJD, man. God damn, wow, this is why this fucking YouTube shit's cool as fuck, man.
It happens. I seen it, brother. Believe me.
Yeah,
And you
fuck.
got those that work together for so long, they're partners, and then they start getting feely and touchy, and then the next thing you know, if you approach the female officer to get something out of her, dude gets a complexion instantly. Like, hold on, homie,
Holy shit,
what
we ain't
the
never talked
fuck?
about this before, man. That's interesting.
Believe me, I seen. I mean, I seen Corcoran. Corcoran prison is prison, and Kern Valley is where I seen a lot of shit like this. Even Centinela, I will see it, but not so in the open.
Yeah.
But I would see a lot of shit like that transpire in the older prisons, like in the mid, coming up here, and I mean, it's something else, man.
Now you don't have to
I
get in.
seen it done with the
Go ahead.
COs and free staffs,
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. The nurses, man. It's like
the nurses.
It's like kryptonite.
Yeah,
Let that be a warning to these young CEOs. Stop. Don't do it. Don't fucking do it.
yeah. Don't do it because the nurses will get you in trouble, man.
Yep. You don't have to go into detail, but as forms of communications, back then was a little handwritten kites. Then the cell phones came on scene. Did that increase criminal? Did that really? Hmm. Well, you don't have to answer this, but did that increase criminal activity?
You know what? It did,
Yeah.
and the reason being is because it was a faster way to network and communicate.
Facts.
Instead of you writing a letter, having it do the three-way, waiting 2 3 weeks to get a response back. Now it was, hey,
Instantly.
instantly, and that's why we seeing this upgrade of violence happening in the yards because dude gets hit on 1 yard. They find out where he's being transferred at. They're already waiting for him with a boxing, everything made for him just so he can get to the yard.
Not just that, with access to the internet now, you can pull up police records,
Oh,
Megan's
you can do
Law.
all of that.
Yeah.
You can do a lot of people. And this is where it goes. A lot of people that were a little bit slow on reading didn't know what the penal codes were. They were not allowing these yards, so you had
Oh,
to have some dudes even will carry like a little book on or no reading on somewhere where they will have it hidden what certain penal codes mean and the most outsawing basically the ones that were not allowed. They
yeah.
will have it written somewhere where they know they could get access to because they were, now with the phone came into place, you actually can look at half of the shit that you needed, fucking registrations, Megan law, all of that stuff. It will play out. You might not have got caught this year for this one, but maybe you have a so-called case that was
Yeah.
down the way wrong. You know,
Yeah. Speaking of that, in your experience, did you see anybody get passes? Maybe they had a fucking bad charge or a funny charge or a
I
quit.
seen I seen two
People
two.
dudes get passes.
And I think because the case factors play a lot into the decision making.
Yeah.
Because dude was married. Well, they got married once she became 18, but they
Yeah.
have been dating with the permission of their parents.
Yeah.
And he was just she was like 16, he was like 28, 19. I don't condone it. Don't get me wrong, but
Right.
the
Right.
parents agreed that he could date her. And just because he chose not to buy, I think the mother-in-law something, she called the police on him. And he got snatched up.
Damn.
And the daughter was like, they threatened her, if you don't get on the stand, you out of the house. She didn't have nowhere to go at 16 years old, so she was pregnant with his child. So that threw a wrench in the movement. But later on down the road, she she tried to write the board, and people let her saying that will never happen. She trying to retract her statements, but it didn't play out. So Duke got a pass because he was. I mean, a lot of it came out of the pockets, man, and that's how he got a pass. The second dude was just related to somebody that was related to somebody, and that somebody spoke for him, and they couldn't do nothing about it.
What is your opinion on administration mixing SNY and GP inmates together?
It's not gonna work, and what they doing is creating a environment for them to live like a stray dogs and cats. They're gonna kill. It's not gonna work, bro. It's not gonna work. They're gonna kill it because this is where I'm sure she's not looking at it. They're looking at it from the SNY side.
Right.
Oh, they can program whatever. They're okay. They don't have to trouble. Yeah, they can. GP had this outlook on everybody that's SNY. They're rats. They're basura. They're garbage. Not every SNY inmate tells.
Right.
Not
Right.
every SNY inmate is a straight piece of shit.
Right.
So I think they forget that, but on their mind, if you're on that side,
Oh, it's automatic.
it's automatic. You're told you had to do something to get there. Plus, unfortunately, SNY had to deal with the child molester, with the sex offender,
Right.
with the transformers and all of that shit that got going on now. So that becomes an issue because you are in the same yard to with these people that they can get access. So automatically they judging you because of that. You're part of them instead of part of being given a fair shake. Because if you are in the same yard as a child molester, you condone his doings on their eyes.
Do you think that managers and administrators should be held accountable for inmates getting injured and killed during these mixings?
Oh yes, I think they should be put in the same spot where the inmates are. Go to jail. Let them see if they would like to get mixed up with people who they have problems with.
Right.
I would love for them to get a taste of their own medicine. Be like, whoa, you're an officer, you cannot go to the mainland because they're gonna kill you. So, but we're gonna throw you anyways. Let's see if you survive. And you never, for once in your life, had to fight for your life. You never don't even know how to make a weapon stock. You don't know how to do none
Yeah.
of that. So they throw you in there with nothing, and let's see how you feel.
Right.
Because most of the time is SNY going to the active side, so the active got the upper hand. And there are some rare times where actors go to the SNY and the
Oh.
SNY got the upper hands and their pool.
Oh, I've seen the actives go to the SNY side. Yeah. And it
I
does.
seen that. I seen that too when they did that. Well, I seen the issue when I first saw that. They started doing it when they were releasing the all EOPs
Yeah.
back to the yard.
Right.
So they did that in Corcoran, right? They let all the EOPs go there. Four black dudes, a Latino, and two white dudes. Brother, when I tell you I seen these black dudes mollywop and sweep the floor with this man body, that's what it meant. I mean, they know he was EOP.
Right.
The top, there's a big ass post that says EOP on the door. Advertisement.
Damn.
Before they
God
walked in,
damn.
before they walked in, the tower and the office were like, EOPs are coming into the building. Everybody got to go back to the cell. You just told them dudes that
Right.
targets are coming in.
Right.
Now, dudes are passing out food. We collect the triggers of Corcoran before we used to go up to child, but after that, a couple incident happens when a white dude killed somebody in there. They start stopping us from going to child, so they start feeding us in house. I was the porter in the morning. Dude tapped the door. Tower see what door he's stopping because you guys have the EOP and all the list for
Yeah.
my to my knowledge. They still pop the door as and you see two dudes on the standby like right because he was right next to the shower, so you saw two dudes in the shower like hidden, and you saw another dude playing stupid right underneath the A section stairs.
Yeah.
As soon as they pop this and he was older dude was like on his 50s. As soon as they pop his door, dude grab the tray and just bang on them with the small tray and then drop it and then they start. Dude, they were stomping him so bad. I felt bad. I felt bad. And I didn't know him from McCain Pain and he was
Yeah.
black, but I didn't care. I felt bad because they after they stomped and he was leaking, they literally want both of them dudes grab a leg from each and they were dragging him all through the day room,
God
banging him
damn.
like his head was banging on the fucking chairs, legs and all that shit. Huh?
All
And
because
I'm
he was
looking
EOP?
all because he was EOP. It was a position. And I'm looking at the tower and I'm looking at the dudes in the floor, and they just like blah 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 blah. They
Oh,
just with the
really?
cheese, all chismosos, all fucking looking like straight Heine drinking coffee, chismeando. I'm like, you fucking serious, bro?
Yeah, prison's wild, man. It's fucking wild. That's why I preach what I preach, and then a lot of people do is like, hey, that's not the place to be, man. On either fucking side, dude. It just fucking sucks all around. Um,
Oh yeah, that shit is just the way it is. It's disgusting. If you driving to go to prison, I'll tell you this, you are for the wrong shit, man.
what is your opinion on the California model, which is now they want the inmates and COs to be best friends forever,
That's
BFFs?
so. And didn't this shit just happen when one of the CEOs broke his fucking ankle playing with this
Oh
inmate?
yeah, yeah, that happened.
I don't know if it was you or somebody did the story about the
Yeah, it was me.
inmate breaking his ankle playing with the CEO. I'll tell you this much. Yeah, they could try to pinpoint that way. Oh, they should get along. They should be. It's not gonna happen, brother. It's not. It's never gonna be that way because the CEO always gonna look at the dude. You steal him loose. I still gotta go home. and the
Right.
email is still gonna look at him. You're still in green.
Right.
You're still gonna go home, and I'm gonna be stuck.
Right.
So there's no beneficial for both of us being friends. So we can play the part, but then after that, I guarantee you, if shit kicked off right in a minute where they're playing basketball, they will get it off on them right away.
Oh, dude, I'm glad you fucking said that. I'm glad you fucking said that. Because there's young COs that are coming into this job that they heard the old stories. They're coming in. They don't probably see nothing wrong with it, taking pictures. But you just said it right now. If the fucking place kicked off, they're gonna get beat the fuck up or stabbed immediately, without delay.
Immediately, because if you're playing basketball, imagine you are on shorts with pants or
Yeah.
regular. All your shit is off. Your whole belt is off.
Right.
So the first thing I'm thinking like a criminal. I'm giving you opinion as a criminal. Shit kicked off in the other yard, and I know it's the Hooters and the homies are getting off on the police. You're gonna be the first target I'm gonna shoot at because you don't got nothing to defend yourself. That pepper spray that can fucking blind you for shit if you get it close to it.
Right.
You don't have it in your hands no more. That's your only weapon. Now I'm gonna rush you, and then everybody is gonna follow suit, and we're
Right.
gonna do damage to you.
Oh, dude, that's all. That's that. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't expect anything else. You know what I mean? I don't see it playing any other way. That's just the way it's going to go down. But fuck, dude. Yeah, now I got anxiety.
Or it can be other ways. Or it can be let's say fuck it. Let's play devil's advocate.
Yeah.
Let's say the CEOs are playing the basketball. The dude elbows the CEO. The CEO trying to take it back. He elbows the email back. What do you think is gonna happen? Let's say the email fucking just elbow the CEO. The CEO is gonna get mad at him. Might even throw a punch or just elbow him back. Whatever might transpire.
Do you think that the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation, do you think that they're painting a false narrative to the public, making everybody believe everything is fine and dandy?
Oh fuck yeah, brother. Fuck yeah, bro. I look up. I will tell you this much. Let them let them show us. They only show the murders that happen by violence.
Right.
Okay. Have them show us the murders that the fucking overdose that murders they had on their hands. Let them show why they don't
Overdoses,
overdose.
suicides.
Suicide, overdose, fucking all of a sudden the inmate got taken out from A to point B, and all of a sudden his neck got broke on the walk to the chow.
Right.
He was being escorted to the fucking dungeon, and the dude hand don't work no more. His eyes crooked. What happened then?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, they're lying to the public because they want to paint a narrative. Oh, look, we let them out. They're so peaceful and they're so cool with us that they're not creating no violence. These guys are fucking angels. Come on, man.
Oh man. What damn, dude. Um what year did you say you paroled?
I came home in 2021.
2021. You said you had got life, right? And you got a shot at life. Or you got a shot
Yeah,
home. You got lucky.
yeah. So I was sentenced to 45 to life, and after a while, laws changed and everything, and I got a shot at home. I took it. I didn't want to take it, I'll tell you the much. Um, but I took it. I came home, and I haven't looked back since then, man.
While you were incarcerated, did you think you were gonna die in prison?
Oh yeah. Oh
Damn.
fuck yeah. I lived my life in prison one day at a time. I never planned it. And my wife, when I go live, she's always in the chat, and I tell people, you can guys call me live. Just ask her. I used to call her, and she used to be like, "Hey, your family's coming next week to see you," and I would stay quiet because I didn't know how to respond. She'd be like, "Your family come." I'm like, "I hurt you." She's like, "You're not happy." I'm like, "I don't fucking know if I'm gonna leave till next Saturday to see them."
Yeah.
Shit, I leave. I'm here talking to you right now. What gives somebody that's gonna run up with the fucking piece and just cross up with my neck?
Yeah, that happens too.
Yes, I mean, I live by the day and I never plan for tomorrow because we never know. Especially, unfortunately for me, I never hit nothing less than the level 4. So all my time was 180s and 270s. I never hit a
Well,
level nothing less.
well, you say unfortunately, but that might be fortunately, man, because level 4s
Yeah,
actually
because
function
I
better.
think yeah, they function better. I think that I that's why a lot of people for me unfortunately because I didn't get like the benefit other people got. But I liked it because when I saw my homeboy go to a level 3, and then he sent me a letter saying, "Bro, I fucking hate it. I'm going back to that yard again because I
Yeah.
hate it here." And they're like, I was like, "Why? What happened?" Then 2 months later, I seen him, and I was like, "What happened, bro?" He said, "Bro, level 3 is not for me."
It's more loose, more looser.
He said that you out all day. That sometimes you even have to take your lunch sack to the yard because they don't let you back in until like. I'm like, fuck. I need my little bit of cell time. I like the yard, but come on,
Yeah.
man. All day long, fuck that.
So has your mindset changed on freedom, on criminal activity? Have you reflected on your past and have you made changes after coming home?
Oh yeah, man. I came home and of course, it's a hassle adapting to it, especially me because I went in there so young.
Yeah.
So I wanted to come home and relive those years that I missed. I wanted to come home and just go crazy, right? I
Yeah.
wanted to come and have fun, but I also had a promise to keep. So that kind of saved my butt, to tell you the truth, because when I came home, I left a lot of my road dogs in there,
Yeah.
and I promised to them like, "Hey, I'm never gonna come home. I'm never gonna hit this fucking prison yards again. I'm never gonna do it." But I still had this 15 years of my young life that I missed my 21st birthday where you can go to the strip clubs and get drunk and all that stupid shit, you know?
Yeah.
So when I came home with the mentality that I'm gonna make it out, I'm gonna stay out, and I'm gonna have to make better decisions because if not, I might not make it back this time around if I go back.
Right.
So I came home and the good thing for me, and this is what I tell people, a lot of people, is having a support system.
Okay.
Having a support system play a big role in my me staying out, and also having a plan. People say, "Oh, you gotta write your plans." Some people say that shit don't work. It work if you put your mind to it. And I came home and I had a plan that I wanted to follow through and do exactly as I wanted to. Okay, maybe a barrier here and now, but I had a support system with my family, and I had a beautiful wife that hold on to me for a long time. And I came home and I said, I think I owe them this much to at least give it a good, like a real try staying out.
So
And
I actually believe in rehabilitation, man, right? Because nobody wants to see people just stay in there and fuck off their life.
yeah, yeah.
What advice would you give and or lessons to somebody who's sitting in there doing life with aspirations to go home but is afraid of the unknown, afraid if the public's going to judge them, afraid if they're going to be able to get a job, and then what are some things that they might experience? That way they can hear it from somebody that was fucking in there, came out and was like, "Hey, this is the shit that I went through, but I'm all
So
right."
I would tell them this. The first thing I would tell them, be you. It doesn't matter what comes your way, just be you. And whatever job you choose at it, be the best at that you can be. But don't let a no distract you. Don't let a no bring you down.
Right.
Because when I came home, I got told no many fucking times. As soon as I walked in an interview, a bunch of tattoos, a big ass MS on my hand. "Oh, you're a gang member?" "Yes." "Oh, we don't deal with your kind." And literally like that, with your kind. Sometimes it would piss me the fuck off because I would be like, "What the fuck you mean my kind? I'm a human being."
Yeah.
I got said no so many times. So, and I would tell them to know that you're gonna start from zero. No, it doesn't matter. You're gonna have to start from zero because what you had before, that shit is gone. Don't count on it, and find you a support system. If you got a woman that's out there in the hood being a homegirl and do that, separate yourself from that.
Yeah.
If you stick to the people that want to see you win, because that's gonna be the key to everything. Stick to the people that want the best when you want to see you win. Because if you have the same friends, if you have the same environment, the same results are gonna happen to you. So
Hey,
I
but
can just tell them you and just fight, bro, to the end. Because a no is only a no.
right. No, starting at zero to me, I think is a good thing, man, because you get a fresh start and it's a clean slate. You know, starting at
It's a
zero is
clean
better than
slate.
starting at the negative because that can happen too.
Well,
Um, you know, and that was before incarceration or during. But you're right, you get a fresh start. Um, and to comment about the tattoos, like I haven't really seen that out in the public because now everybody has them, you know. So that's something I always just wanted to say that like don't fucking be discouraged because you're blasted all over, man. We're in 2024. You can fucking telework from home.
Yeah, that's the thing. This is what I tell people. Hey, you can find you if you can. I came home, brother, and everybody told me when I told people I want to make my own company, I want to do my
Right.
own construction company. Everybody told me no. Everybody was like, "We can help you. We cannot give you a lending hand. We cannot do this. I don't think you're gonna make it." Everybody discouraged me. There was one person behind me that told me, "Do it. I believe in you. I think you can fucking do it. Fuck what everybody else said." And that's that woman that's always with me. My wife. She told me when I came home, brother, I came home literally with the stay fucking shit that I had. They let me get a sweatpant and a fucking sweater. That's all I had, and a bunch of fucking letters and paper stack and pictures. That's what I came home with, and that stupid ass check they give you. When I started to trying to fulfill my dream, which was like to be my own boss, everybody told me no, bro. Oh, you can do it. You don't have the talent. You don't have the wits to do it. You don't have the uh, people skill. You don't. They're gonna look at you and they're not gonna let you into the home. Guess what, motherfuckers? And I tell this, and I say it with pride. Guess what, motherfucker? I started my own company from the fucking ground up, and I have 15 people working for me. And
That's what's
now
up.
ones that I've used them or I took them for granted every single day. I was standing right next to them and work my heart out just like they would do it.
Yeah. No, I can attest to that because when I told you, like, hey, when do you want to knock out this interview? Because I move fast. You're like, I move fast too. It's like, fuck it, let's knock it out right now. Um, so yeah, dude. As we close out, is there anything that you want to share with the crowd? Give your YouTube channel where they can find you. The floor is yours.
I just want to tell you, first of all, thank you, brother. Like I told you outside this interview, I respect you as a man and I respect what you're doing. I congratulate you. I take my hat off to you because you have brought light to a lot of shit that people are afraid to do it. But you have done it in a manner that's been respectful and not crossing boundaries that a lot of people still believe. So thank you for
Thank you.
now of the bat. Secondly, man, if people haven't checked out the channel, go check it out. It's called Upstate Rebels. I began starting basically my YouTube a few months ago. I speak about my life. I speak about the stuff that I seen, my experience, my point of view, and I also have a second channel where I'm letting people know the knowledge of what a MS gang member is, because everybody's confused that MS and Serranos are the same. They're not the same. They're two different entities. So I have a second channel. It's called Cali Rebels. Go check it out. It's nothing but MS politics, MS, the deepest of the deepest, and good stories there. And I also, man, if you guys want to check it out, go to my Instagram, Junior Fuentes 315. You guys can find me there. My merch is there. Doing a couple more things, and hopefully we're gonna keep on pushing, man. And I appreciate you for allowing me the time to come into your platform and share my story with you. And this is, I believe, the first time I ever spoke depth on my life. Like, not even on my own channel, I've done it. This is the first time I spoke depth on my life like
That's
this.
cool. That's what's up, dude. That's cool. That's what it's all
Thank
about, man. Fucking transparency.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I respect you for that, dude. Straight up.
Yes.
So
Yeah. Hopefully, this is not the last time we work together. Hopefully, there's gonna
now,
be more things
yeah, I'll
in the
interview
hall.
on your channel, dude, for sure. Like I said, we could have gone either way, man, but this shit went fucking smooth, dude.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, it was cool having you on here, dude. Let me close it out and stay on after I close it out.
All right. Yes,
There you
sir.
guys have it, folks. Another banger, man. Just trying to bring you guys some wisdom, some jams, and spread the fucking truth and knowledge out there, man. Try to help people. With that, keep pushing forward.